Okay, today's back page is for you. Going to the back page of The Sun. Toffees land Kyle Walker. This is an exclusive by Paul Sims. Kyle Walker is joining Everton on a 1-year deal. The Man City and England right back has been locked in talks with Toffees since returning from a loan spell at AC Milan. Obviously, he was axed from Pep Guardiola's Club World Cup squad for Man City and no longer features in the future plans.
Yes.
I'm taken a bit by surprise by this story. How do you guys feel?
Go on, Gabby, you go.
Yeah, it's not worked, has it? I mean, Kyle Walker left Man City to go AC Milan. Didn't work there. They didn't want to pay the $5 million fee to keep him. And now Pep's probably saying, well, you're not coming back here after you left us when we needed you. So you're out my plans. So now he's got to look for another club. Does he want to stay around that area?
I think so. Yeah. I don't think he has to move. I think it works for both, for where both are at in their career. Obviously, Everton moved to a new stadium, try to change the whole. Obviously, 13 players out of contract.
Yes.
Kyle coming in, obviously a leader, used to winning, used to organising. He's still, as probably me and you were, still young enough mentally to connect with the younger players as well. He's not an old 35, is he, by any stretch?
But don't you think though, like, because it didn't work out at AC Milan, maybe he hasn't got as much options as what he thought he'd have, because he didn't look great in the England game.
Yeah, maybe
recently.
Yeah, maybe, but I just think he's, once his legs are gone, he's going to struggle. But I don't think his legs are gone.
You don't feel that? Because I mean, in the England friendly, against Senegal, just going, a lot of people were saying it felt like his legs had gone. You know, he was turned over a couple of times. Age 35, are you not there yet with that?
No, but you're talking about a very good Senegal team. I think people were a bit disrespectful of that Senegal team, how good and how powerful they are. Also, he wasn't the only one who was poor. There was a lot of poor performers in that. I just think we're at a point where he's been so good for so long, we're ready to go, that's it, get out of it. I don't think he goes in, plays week in, week out, but when you look at Everton's current squad at right back, Seamus Coleman or Ashley Young, he's better than both of those guys.
Yeah, I think Young is Young get a contract.
Young is going to leave. It sounds like.
Yeah. But that's what I mean. Like, if you're replacing those guys, though, you're leading leadership, people in that right back area. I think he just fits. He
hasn't. For me, he's not as quick as he used to be.
No,
but he's still quicker than most players in the Premier League. So maybe we see maybe he's been off a bit and he's giving people
similar to you though, right?
Yeah, of course. Yeah. But he's probably giving people that yard that he used to be able to do, but now he can't. He's got to be more clever and say, you know what, I'm not as quick as I used to be, but I'm still fast enough.
And you speak about the experience as well, Troy. I mean, since the 50 million move from Spurs in July 2017, he's won 17 major trophies in this glittering career. So another opportunity perhaps at Everton. It's an interesting one. We'll keep tabs on that here at talkSPORT. Also going to the Times. Let's talk about the Club World Cup, which you were just going on there. There's some numbers in the Times today that really do take your eye, that it's not quite going to take off and it is going to need a lot more time, a number of years possibly. Peter Rutzler is out in Atlanta talking about physical delap, an instant hit in front of 53,000 empty seats. Ticket prices have tumbled ahead of kick-off, with the cheapest falling to £38 on the day of the game, despite being listed for £72 at the turn of the year. Last year, 38,000 turned up for a friendly between Chelsea and Club America, while 2 years ago Chelsea visited with Newcastle United and packed out the ground with 70,000 supporters. These were friendlies. So why isn't it working if it is seemed to be a big tournament?
Well, I think the big thing we have to talk about is they did move the change of time, didn't they? They moved it earlier to
3 in the afternoon.
3 in the afternoon in the week is difficult to get people out anyway. I think Gabby alluded to it. It wasn't a huge game in terms of names as well. So if you're an American fan, you've seen Chelsea not too long ago against Newcastle, as you just alluded to, and you see LAFC every week. So it's not one that gets the juices flowing, but I do think they should make it cheaper anyway in these situations and just pack it out. As long as the atmosphere is good and build it, you're probably expected to lose money in the short term, but long term, then you can obviously add it up once it's what it needs to be.
I just feel last night just felt pre-season friendly vibes to me. Even the players, it was a bit... They weren't really like firing around. I mean, last night looked lively. The game between Benfica, Boca Juniors, the South American teams, they will make it a lively game. But if you're a fan, Shebahn, and your family, like Troy said, game kicked off last night at Chelsea at 3 p.m. Like, you're working. You're not going to take time off work
at school
to go and pay £40 a ticket. You're not going to do it, are you, for a game where some of the teams and the players they've never heard of.
Ben Jacobs was earlier on in Early Breakfast. He said that obviously a lot of this is a dress rehearsal for the World Cup next year. A lot of these stadiums that are being used, but 22,137 inside a stadium that can fit 75,000 made for uncomfortable viewing for FIFA. So if it is part of this dress rehearsal, then hopefully you would rehearse it properly.
Yeah, but I was also there for the Copa America last year in LA when Brazil played somebody. I can't remember who they played, but I was actually at the game and that was sold out, and you couldn't get tickets on the day. So
that's national team.
Exactly, but I mean, you're looking ahead to the World Cup. That'll be national teams, obviously. I think it's more for the ins and outs, isn't it? Getting people in transport. I think America's suited for it. You've just got to get people interested in terms of buying into the family, like make it accessible and not free in the afternoon.
I think, like you said, the Copa America, the World Cup, you got countries. So fans. I was at the World Cup in Qatar, and there were fans that were speaking to talkSPORT, sold their cars to get their Argentinian fans. That means the world to them. This tournament, are you going to say any team that's from Europe? Most of that, would you go if Celtic were playing in it? Would you spend your money and flights to go there?
I'd be far more interested, I have to say.
No, but would you?
Yeah, that's because nothing happens in the Scottish League. That's why.
Hey, no.
I just think even my team Villa, I'm not sure fans would pay their hard-earned money to go to this tournament.
But maybe in
America,
like you say, in a few years' time, if it gets going, especially if it's 100 million is up for grabs at the end of it.
Yeah, but that's not for the fans, is it?
I'd be right in there.
They don't see any of it.
Speaking, by the way, of the fans, just quickly, back page of the Times, Martin Ziegler saying young viewers turn off rugby. Tennis and rugby have experienced the biggest drop in the number of young people watching coverage of the sports, according to a report published by Ofcom. The report says interest in watching tennis has dropped from 13% to 10% in 18 to 34-year-olds since 2019. That's something we'll discuss later, is getting young eyes on sport with the tournament you took part in recently as well, the Baller League. So we'll discuss that all a little bit later.
I thought we got away from that. Anyway, Shebahn, it's always nice to see you. Thank you very much as always. We'll see you a bit later on. And that was a look at today's back pages with Tesco Mobile for Business.
talkSPORT Breakfast, waking you up Monday to Friday morning from 6 a.m. on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.